Hi guys, you're welcome to my channel. Are you new here? Hit that subscribe button because we are talking about something that is relatable on today's video. We want to talk about what we all reckon with parenting and how we balance it with our careers. It is a whole lot, and I know that you agree with me that it is tasking. So if you are ready to dive in with me, I know I'm talking solo, but I'm going to be bearing your mind. So hit that subscribe button and let's continue the chat from here. Right, so for me, balancing career and family, it's really tough. It's really tough. Sometimes I actually look at it as if 24 hours is not enough anymore. And especially us that also have joined business into the stream, it is tough. How do we do these things? I pray that God will change the time from 24 hours to 48 hours in a day. So help me, God. But let's see if God answers that prayer. But in the interim, we are going to be working around what we have and also begin to raise our children and feed them with what is most important. I say all the time that the most important thing that we should actually look at is our families. Our families it comes first before your career. It comes first, raising your children, building them up, giving them the right values, the right things that you want them to know. It is most important than even that career. So if you are here in Canada and you are chasing career first, you are putting, how do they say that thing? The cat before the horse. Is it the horse that is in front? You are putting the cat before the horse. You are not prioritizing right. So please, let's prioritize our children, because I know we are all trying to make ends meet. We're all trying to build a good life here in Canada. We're all trying to buy houses, just begin to show off that we have done X, Y, Z. But is it worth it at the expense of our children or our family? Most of us that have gray hair, that have left our home country, or even those that are actually growing families that moved here, really want the best for their children. And that's why they've sacrificed so much. So why lose it all when we come here to Canada? We need to put them in our priority list and begin to show that we really care and that we have moved here because of them, without neglecting them, without making them feel as if it is just about that work that we are going to do on a daily basis. Some people have 2 jobs, some people have 3 jobs. I know for a reason why someone will be working 3 jobs will probably be that the person is not earning much in one job. But my advice for that person will be for you to find ways to get one job that pays better. I won't say higher because it's relative, but that pays you better to keep your family going so that you can also be available for your own family. It is honestly like throwing them into the wind. My heart bleeds when I see children, especially teenagers that are growing into adulthood and they want to take the decisions into their hands. They want to do things their own way. They don't want adults to have a say really in the things that they say, because they feel they've grown into adulthood. They are 18 and above Canada adult standard, and they want to start living life on their own. Well, this is also to parents to also begin to shift in some perspective, because when you look at these children, the adult age for them back at home is different from here in Canada. And while they begin to grow, Canada gave them 18 years for them to be independent and become an adult. So they can come to you and say, Mom, I'm ready to move out of your house, or Dad, I just got my own place. If they are working, because that is also something that works for them here too. So if they are working and they can afford it, how will you answer them? Will you say go or don't go? I know we are used to our children staying with us until it's time for them to get married. We are used to them, and we still talk to them. We still respond to them as if they are the babies that you've given birth to when they were very small. You forget that they've grown or they are growing, and we should also address them as such. We are all guilty. We are all guilty, because sometimes too, growing up, when my parents will address me somehow, I would say, I'm not that little girl anymore, But fact remains that we need to be able to be sensitive to the times or the country that we are in, especially because of the children that are being brought up here. Things are changing, new values are learned, things are different, and you also don't want to lose them. That's why you must embrace them as they begin to grow old. That value that you have given them from home will not leave them if you have actually invested so much in them. If you have not started chasing money first. I know it's not easy. You have to provide for the household, but don't lose the children because of work. So you need to balance these things. You need to balance this. Prioritize what is important. Yes, do the work. We need it to pay bills. We need it to pay bills and eat. But prioritize your children above all things. Even in spiritual things, you need to invest in these children. You don't see, the Bible says bodily exercise profited little. If you invest in chasing shadows and you leave them to the wind, they won't be grounded spiritually. And then all the bombardment of those growing teenage years begin to come to them. And I'm probably just addressing teenagers because, I don't know, they just amount to the set of people that are confused and difficult to handle, if you understand what I mean. And I just feel we need to understand them. And I see that parents don't understand their children, so that we better, help them as they grow into that phase, because they are also confused. They don't understand some things they do. Peer pressure is rife. They move with the winds of their peers, and they just feel that their parents don't understand, or, you're not in that age anymore. We forget that we also grew up as teenagers and probably went through worse things while we're going, with our parents. And then in their own time, we just feel they must obey, they must hear, they must do, they must listen, they must this, they must that. But it goes beyond that. We just need to be close to them, understand them, how they think, how they ration things. And when you become your children's friends, it's difficult for them to take harsh decisions that they know that would have implication even on the entire family, that you will not be happy about as a parent. They have that at the back of their mind. Even with peer pressure, don't forget that we abuse these children, even adults too. Pressure day. Sometimes we follow the wind of the pressure of some friends, and then we begin to muzzle up as if because we are adults, we can always come out of it. But some adults too don't. So why do we make these children feel so bad about these things? But I'm really dwelling on this because I think we need to have quality time with our children. We need to have time to be able to bond with them, to understand them, to know them beyond just them as a child, because they have needs, they have plans, they have aspirations, they desire some things, even growing into adulthood and growing out of your home. When you begin to have conversations with them, you know their thought line, and you begin to help them manage that thought. Then you guide them towards that direction if it's something that you can guide, or you talk them out of those things if they are contravening or contradicting some values that you have put in them as a family. So you need to balance all these aspects. Something came to my mind right now because I know that in this part of the world, because of Oh my God, the culture here. Back in our home countries, we know that it's a woman. In fact, the Bible says a man shall leave his father and mother and will cleave to his wife. Meaning that even before you get married, back then, they will check, do you have a roof over your head? Are you working? Do you have finance to cater for this woman? You must have a house, rented or whatever. You must have a house. And then the woman marries you and moves in with you. But in this part of the world, most ones that I've seen, honestly, mostly is the men that move in with the women. I really don't know what to say. But it might just be because the woman earns more, or she's more comfortable where she is, or where she is the most comfortable place. I'm not judging. But if your child, your son, tells you he's moving in with his wife to be, or even getting married, don't even let me go extreme. Because here they cohabit, they do common law, and they want to, start living because of the bills. They want to share bills and just make it light on themselves. But let me just leave that one discussion for another day. Let's talk about the one that, they're actually getting married. And then the lady, maybe at 18 and above, had even gotten her place beforehand. She has left your house as the Canadian style of after 18, they are adults. And then your own son, probably still in your house, or even has his own place, decides to move into her home. All these things have implication that when something goes wrong, there's a possibility that the woman tells the man, get out of my house. Or, things just happen, really. I don't want to go into all those. But I'm just looking at the children that we're raising here. And that's why I'm dwelling more on this. The children that we're raising here. How much of quality time do we have with them? How much of conversations do we have with them? As much as they're imbibing the culture here, how much are you still imbibing your own culture in them? Don't let them lose it. Don't let them lose it. In fact, the children that are being born here, I don't know if they ever will learn if their parents don't teach them how to greet elders, even from your own culture. There's respect. They respect. We show respect. We don't just call Jack, Ben, Janet. No. If he's older than you, show respect. Were you there when they gave birth to him? Uncle Jack, Auntie Janet, Sister BC, Brother Lucky. At least show some respect. But the children that were giving birth these days, they cannot even greet you. When they see you, they will walk past you. The Canadian style. We need to still give them good tutelage from home. And that is where this balancing of career and your family is a priority. Please do what you can do as an immigrant parent here in Canada to help your children. Do not let them be lost in this society. As much as there are good cultures, rich cultures to be learned, you also don't want them to take in what will infiltrate the norms and the values that you have, trained them up with from your home country, those that were born back there before you brought them here. They learn a lot, they pick a lot, and those things will probably come back. And then you look at them, one day they will come to you and they will say, oh my God, I don't want you to be shocked. So that you are not in shock of whatever they come to tell you. So we need to be open with conversations. We need to plan our time. When we come here, hunting for jobs, trying to settle, trying to find something to do is also tough. But as much as we can in our own capacity, when we find jobs, if we find one that is not as comfortable with timing and all the things that has to do with your family, you can consciously begin to look for the next one that will help you create time, that will help you find time to be with your children when they're not, when you are working nights, they are sleeping. When they have gone to school, you are now sleeping. You barely see them. What values do you have to share them? You can't even pray with them. You can't even put anything in them, which is really uncalled for. So this is very important. You need to be able to find, it's a progression, right? It's not, I'm saying this because I know that over time, yes, it's like survival of the fittest. People are looking for survival job. People are trying to find their footing at the expense of their kids. But we need to be able to make sure that we're still putting them at priority. Don't forget, that's where I'm going to. As much as you're chasing those other things, some parents even begin to live their own life. Career, they are building on profession and all of that, which is good, but not at the expense of your children, not at the expense of these children. So in the interim, when you probably have to navigate all of these things, you can look for flexible options of work. Maybe the wife finds something more flexible, the husband does the hard work, man, go and work, or whatever works really. But there must be time created as you begin to grow and nurture these children from really young ages into those ages whereby they become really hard rock to bend. You don't want to get to that situation, and you don't want to get your fingers burnt at those particular time. So help these children by communicating with them and, finding ways to let them know that you are there, that you are always there with them, to that they can come to you, really. Let them know, and this will be visible by you being available. I always say something, you guys should pray. You see, there's nothing like when you have something that is flexible. A 9-to-5 job is also good. The children are in school, you're at work, you probably come home slightly later when they are home, or you're working from home, which is also good. Or if you are a business owner, you also have time that you can take out of time if there's any need. But important thing, I'm hammering like a rock, is that you must be there for these children. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but we just need to find reasonable time within our search for better life here in Canada, not to have those things at the expense of the children. Because anyway, these are just stuff running through my head, and I thought, let's just talk about it. If there are any ways in which you feel that immigrants need to balance their life here in Canada, how they need to be able to manage time, not at the expense of their children or family, that's most important. You can put in the comment section and let's continue the conversation. But I'm just very passionate about family. I'm very passionate about well-being, that everybody must have the best within their family, which is the first place for a child. There are too many broken homes. There are too many homes that are not nurturing children right. And you don't want to, in the rat race of finding success here in Canada, enter into that hole without you knowing, because it is a little step at a time. You won't know if you are not consciously toying the part of helping those children. So I will look at your comments in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you in another vlog. Bye guys.